What the hell was that?
Beast Runners is a YouTube channel usually recognized for its calming, immersive hiking videos, encouraging viewers to slow down and admire untouched mountain scenery. But this video took an entirely different direction. Instead of a relaxing trek, the creator set out with a mission. A hiker had been reported missing along Taiwan's Malinshan Trail. It had been 5 days since anyone last saw or heard from him. Surveillance footage near the entrance showed the man entering the trail around 8:00 a.m. on the 17th, and an Instagram story posted that same morning suggested he was cheerful and ready to begin. After that, nothing. No calls, no messages, only growing worry. The path he followed wasn't known for reliable water sources, and the terrain was dense and harsh. Each day that passed made the situation more dire. In response, the Beast Runners creator retraced the missing hiker's route. Carrying basic supplies and camera equipment, he set out alone, aware this trip could reveal something far more serious than mountain views. As he moved deeper into the forest, the usual serenity of hiking turned into an uneasy silence. Eventually, the path led to a creek, one of the rare places in the area where someone might search for water or shelter. The spot was unexpectedly stunning, filled with fluttering butterflies that gave the scene an almost dreamlike feel. But the calm didn't last. Hidden beyond rocks and thick vegetation near the creek, the missing hiker was finally located, but he hadn't survived. What followed was careful and sobering. The creator stabilized the body to keep it from drifting downstream, treating it with as much dignity as possible. He then built a small signal fire, hoping the smoke would be seen from above. GPS coordinates were sent to authorities immediately, but due to the rough terrain and timing rescue, crews couldn't reach the site until 11:00 a.m. the next day. Only then was the body airlifted out and returned to his family, finally ending days of uncertainty. In remote regions like Malinshan, successful recoveries often rely less on technology and more on instinct, timing, and determination. Without the Beast Runner's creator stepping in, the hiker may never have been found. His quick action intuition and experience were key in giving the family closure. It raises a sobering thought: how many others have disappeared in wilderness areas like this never discovered? And what might have happened if no one had walked the same path? In today's digital world full of thrill-seeking content, stories like this remind us that some moments matter less for spectacle. On July 7th, 2025, represent humanity. The Fort Spooky team returned to a spot they hadn't visited in quite a while, an abandoned house they already knew, though the revisit hadn't been part of their plan. They had intended to film elsewhere that night, but strong winds forced a change, sending them back to the crumbling property. What made the return more significant was a recent claim Zoe's son and his friend had been there only days before and reported seeing a shadow on the staircase.
Me and Zoe.
Hi.
I haven't got that set up properly, there we go. We've come to a house that we've been to a few times, but we haven't been for ages, have we?
No.
We were meant to go somewhere else. It is quite windy to go to the other place, and we decided to come here. And Zoe's son came here a few days ago, and Zoe's son's friend saw a dark figure up the stairs.
Yes.
So that creeps me out a bit, not gonna lie. If it was something, then it's amazing, and hopefully we get something tonight. We've only been a few nights ago, you know. Is something active in here at the minute? I don't know, but something, it feels like something called us here tonight. The wind called us here tonight, because we couldn't do the other one. Maybe, I don't know, but yeah, we're looking forward to it. We're feeling on edge, I will tell you now. We're feeling very on edge, but maybe we're giving off a lot of energy, who knows. There is some wind, but we are quite sheltered in here. Someone's kind of done this makeshift like door up against the window, and it's quite like that in a couple of rooms, so we've got no wind coming in, so that's awesome.
That eerie detail reshaped their plans. While the house did block some of the wind, a heavy sense of unease quickly set in. Both investigators had been there previously, but this visit carried a different weight. Not dangerous, but undeniably charged with something they couldn't describe. Inside, they set up equipment. Bell balls, simple devices that ring when touched, were placed around the house. Unlike glowing cat balls, these gave off a distinct sound, making it easier to confirm movement. Bells were placed near doorways on the old stove and in corners, waiting to capture any interaction. Of course, the wind outside created occasional noises with rattling doors and shifting wood. The team carefully tracked these natural sounds, so they wouldn't mistake them for activity inside.
So guys, we're just putting, I know you can't see, I'm sorry. Oh no, see Zoe, she's putting some bell balls. They're cat balls, but they're not the light up ones, they've got bells in. So if they move, it could well be something. And I've put one in the doorway down here. Thank you, Zoe.
It's all right.
And I'm gonna put one in this doorway, I don't know why. I'm just going where I'm feeling. There we go. That's that one, and I'm going to put one in the room with us. Actually, I'm not going to put one in that corner. I'm going to put two on here, on the fire, or the stove, whatever it's called. Okay, so Zoe's son does actually want to come out tonight. So we are suggesting and asking if they want to come here. Yeah, we're suggesting that they want to come here because Russell is the guy that swears he saw a dark figure upstairs. And I think it would be interesting if he comes back. So we think he's coming.
Sorry guys, no he's not.
He's not, never mind, we'll carry on. Hello? If you're not...
The first odd event happened when one of the bell balls chimed. It wasn't clear which one had gone off, but both believed it came from the staircase, the same place where the figure had been spotted earlier. That bell had been set in a sheltered spot, away from drafts or open windows. The team froze, unsure if it was coincidence or something else. Later, while reviewing audio from a stationary EVP recorder, they discovered something far clearer.
That's why I was wondering if it was residual.
Doing the kettle.
Yeah.
Right, let me try. Right, so the speakers are up here, aren't they? Sorry, let me get it on camera, guys. So, right, that is making the thingy go. So, right, so if I save that then, Let's listen. We'll hear that. No, I'm recording again. Absolute sausage. Bear with. Right, we want 54. There we go.
Right, mate, sorry, let me get it on camera, guys. So, right, that is making the thingy go,
No,
so...
no.
Right, so if I stay on recording
That's,
again,
yeah.
absolutely.
Shall I try flicking it? Sorry, we need to test this. Right, let me try again. Right, get that on camera. We're recording, so let me flick it. We wouldn't hear that. Right, save. Oh, sorry, guys.
Camera, we're recording, so let me flick it.
Oh my God! And we wouldn't have heard that.
The playback revealed 2 footsteps approaching a faint flicking noise and 2 footsteps retreating. None of this had been heard live, but the microphone caught it perfectly. They tested the sound by flicking a bell ball on camera. The match was almost identical, but unlike their test, no one had been near the object at the time. Whatever moved it had done so unnoticed, leaving only the audio as proof.
Did you see a line?
But dark. Go down there.
Was it a line?
It's like something just went down like that. It was like a dot, but it sort of went curved.
That's a train in the distance. That's weird because I saw white. It was like, honestly, that's why I thought it was a cobweb, because it was that thin, sort of, and it was floaty, but there's nothing there. And it happened a few times, and you've just seen a dark one. Like, what was it, like it came downstairs?
Sort of started here, like here. Sorry, I'm trying to see with my eye. How it went.
You don't look weird at all, so.
I did that.
Did that. And just stopped.
Yeah. And it couldn't have been the light on my glasses because I've not moved.
Maybe we should keep going quiet for a bit, see.
As the night continued, they noticed subtle visual anomalies, shapes, flickers of motion, and what one described as a thin floating line drifting like a cobweb in unnatural ways. At times, it felt like they were being watched. But just as quickly as the energy built, it faded. The silence came back. In paranormal work, it's common for activity to rise in bursts, only to fall quiet again. The team observed how the atmosphere seemed reactive, sometimes responding, but only briefly. Some believe entities simply observe when not interacting, or that they react only when energy is directed toward them. Could silence itself be a response? Or had the investigators simply stumbled upon a routine never meant to be broken? The house offered no certain answers, but the mix of sound, fleeting visuals, and unease left a mark. If you're still here, drop the hidden word horror. As the video wrapped up, one final EVP attempt was made, but the house gave nothing back. Whether the presence had left or communication just ended, no one could be sure. What they do know is this: the strongest moments in these cases aren't always loud. They're the quiet ones that stay with you long after you leave. If you like this episode, be sure to like and subscribe. Let us know in the comments what stood out most. More chilling encounters are coming soon, and believe us, you won't want to miss them. In about 3 seconds, new disturbing videos will appear on your screen. And with that, we're done. This footage is from a channel called Hunt Your Way, which centers on protecting rural land, living off-grid, and DIY security methods. The creator frequently shares authentic clips and personal accounts of trespassing, theft, and illegal entries. On November 12, 2022, the situation took a serious turn. For years, the property he owned and gradually restored had been calm, but odd incidents began surfacing. At first, only unfamiliar cars pulled into the driveway, noticeable, but not immediately troubling. But it didn't end there. Security cameras were set up, and soon after the first break-in occurred. The intruder broke a side window of the camper, messed with the screen, and reached in to unlatch the door.
Bought this property about 6 years ago. Did a ton of work to the place. Completely cleaned it up. Went through, graveled the driveway. Just a full-on flip-out repair of the whole entire place. For the first 3 years, everything went smooth. We had absolutely zero problems. Started getting comfortable down there, leaving tools in the shed, no problem. So we had everything we needed down there if we had to make repairs. Then we started noticing some vehicles pulling in the driveway. We didn't have a gate up at that time, so there was 2 or 3 different vehicles that we noticed pulling in the driveway. So we threw up a bunch of cameras. So then we had our first break-in. As you can see from the pictures, they knocked our window out, the side window, and was able to pop the screen, reach around, jimmy the door, get the door open. But as you can tell, they tried to pry it open first, it looks like, before they busted the window out. Went in the camper, completely ransacked it, went through everything. Same with the sheds. They ripped the door off, the locks off, completely went through the shed, cleaned everything out. Anything that had value down there, they got. So this video footage here, I've actually held on to for quite a while, since last year. As you're gonna see, there's snow on the ground. I had the sheriffs come out. They took a report, gathered up evidence, and that was pretty much about the last that I heard from them. I followed up a few weeks later. This was all during COVID, and I kept getting the excuse that COVID was going on, it was slowing everything down, and then I just stopped getting the return phone calls when I left messages and trying to reach out. So it went absolutely nowhere. So yeah, I decided, hey, I'm gonna put this footage out there for you guys to see, and maybe it'll help somebody else out.
The video shows the suspect lingering at the entrance, scoping the area, and finally forcing entry through the damaged window. Inside, the camper was torn apart. Belongings, scattered cabinets pried open, and expensive tools in nearby sheds were stolen. Even the sheds had their locks destroyed.
Here, I'm putting slow motion here so we can talk about it. So as you can see, he's kind of creeping up here to the door. He kind of goes past the door and kind of looks, I'm assuming, to make sure there's no vehicles or anything on down the driveway. Goes up there, gives the old handle a pull. Obviously the door's locked. Then he goes over to where you can see the window I have taped to where it was broke out before. Starts peeling on that tape. That must have evidently took too long, because then next thing you know, he tries to actually pry the window open, which he does get it open enough to put his arm through there. And I have put the screen back in there at this time, so you can see there he actually pops that screen out of the way, reaches around there to the door handle, and he's able to get that door unlatched. Okay, so by now at this point here, we were smart enough not to leave really anything of any true value in the camper there. So the video, you can see him coming out. I'm gonna slow-mo it as well. You can see he's running with something coming out the door, and that would actually be an old 10-year-old heater that we had in there, electric heater, that he helped himself to, and there he goes running back down the driveway.
The owner notified the sheriff, provided evidence, and waited. But updates were rare. Officials cited pandemic delays, and eventually communication stopped altogether. Months later, the same suspect came back. Footage from another visit revealed signs of forced entry once again. Although cold weather drained the security batteries, it was clear someone had broken in a second time. This time, something remained. Inside the camper, the intruder dropped a knife. The owner immediately contacted law enforcement, who retrieved the weapon and promised fingerprint testing. He believed he already
set everything back up,
someone with a record whose prints should
fixed
be
the
in
window, retaped it, I guess I should say, and headed back up north, and ended up coming back down 2 weeks later. And this is what we found. Unfortunately, the batteries were just too cold. Evidently, didn't get any recording of it, but this is what I walked into. All right, hey, we just got back down to the property. Pulled in the driveway here, it's all ice. Got the car stuck, that's gonna be fun. But come down here to do a few things. We'll talk about that here soon. But as you can see, our thief's been back. He pulled up the tape there, and I've already actually went in the camper, and look, he left something this time. Left his knife. So, as soon as I get out of here, I'm gonna go call the sheriff, see if he can come down. I really hope they're gonna fingerprint this knife, because that's all we need to catch this guy, and I believe I know who it is, and I believe he's already in the court system, and he should already have his fingerprints on file, so all they gotta do is get a print from that. It'll be pretty simple to match up, so let's hope they go the extra mile for me and get that thing fingerprinted, and we can get this guy, so stay tuned. All right, I'm gonna finish up this video with this. I wish I could tell you that the sheriff department did their job, ran his fingerprints on this knife like they said they would when they came out. He put his rubber gloves on, got his bag, took the knife, did all that, said it was gonna be ran to contact them, and I contacted them numerous times. Spoke with the secretary, left multiple messages, and the only time I got somebody to call me back was that they were so backed up with COVID that it basically didn't have time to handle this. So, and that was the end of it. That was the last call I got. So I'm putting all this out to you guys. Maybe you guys know some information, but
But weeks passed. No updates, no fingerprint results, just more silence.
But weeks went by. No answers. No fingerprint report. Only silence. Despite repeated calls and messages, the case went cold. Authorities blamed a backlog and moved on. The knife, potentially key evidence, was never followed up on. It's infuriating how easily a case like this can be ignored. If the suspect had a record, why wasn't it matched? Was this just another burglary or something darker? One fact stands out. Why bring a knife to a break-in unless expecting confrontation? Was it meant as a weapon or only as a tool? Either way, the presence of it changes the crime from theft to something far more dangerous. So here's the question. What if the owner had been home that night? And more importantly, how many more times will this suspect return before anyone acts? Stay tuned. This story isn't
continue.
over.
On September 26, 2023, the YouTube channel Boys Outdoors shared a seemingly routine video that quickly turned into something far more intense. What began as a casual duck hunt after school escalated into a heated confrontation, one that the young hunters won't soon forget.
During the summer, an area
the two friends had returned to a small pond they'd worked on throughout the summer,
hunt.
setting up decoys and preparing blinds in hopes of a productive evening. Their setup was typical:
the sun
a kayak,
below the
a few.
We're out on this little pond that we kind of did some work on this summer, and we're gonna see if we can get a nice greasy evening hunt here. We just get off of school here, and he's going to kayak now. Hey, fix some of those decoys. We got the little pallet blind. Got the pallet blind, but we've been seeing a lot of ducks out here. So we've already seen a good flock of teal and then some woodies and a bunch of coots. So we're gonna see what Buddy does out there, but hopefully we can get a nice after school hunt going here for you guys. Buddy doesn't want the smoke. Where'd he go? Oh, he's still swinging. Buddy's $800 decoys are getting wrecked. Yeah,
The weight smoke.
Oh, yikes. Try get one out in front of this little patch here where that drake's sitting. No, like that patch to the right, kind of. No, Buddy. The one like where there's a drake and then the hen's like in that gap. Oh, the wind's perfect. See it.
Their setup was typical.
Easygoing.
A kayak,
Everything about
a few
the outing
calls,
felt routine.
and a well-placed hide
At first,
near
the
the
hunt
water's
went
edge.
smoothly. They brought
At
down a
first,
few birds
everything
and
felt
captured
familiar.
content for their channel.
Just another
but the
relaxed
calm was
afternoon in
short-lived.
the field.
From a distance,
Early signs
they
were
began to hear
promising.
someone shouting.
They spotted
The
flocks
words
of
weren't
teal,
clear at first,
wood
but the
ducks,
tone was
and
hostile,
coots moving
getting
through the
louder.
area.
Moments
After
later,
settling
an
in, they
ATV
managed to
burst through
harvest
the
a few
trees.
birds while
A
joking
man
and
pulled up
filming
and
for their
began
channel.
yelling at the hunters.
It
He
was shaping
accused
up
them
to
of
be a
breaking the
solid
law,
session.
claiming hunting
Then,
hours
from
had
a
already
distance,
ended
they heard
and
shouting.
threatening to have their
And our website
firearms
says,
taken.
But you're trespassing on other people's land.
Is it not?
No, you're not.
Sure. That's what my app said that. So that's what
Well, your app.
it was. At sunset.
I gotta find it here.
Okay, well look.
So I know you can't hunt past 4 o'clock.
Sure, that's not just an old timer rule because I feel like they might have changed it.
Old timer rule.
Oh, I don't know. I might have been in something.
I'm pretty sure they changed
It's
it.
been that way for about 15 years.
Well, they might
They
have.
changed the 10 o'clock opener. It used to be 12 o'clock.
Sure.
Then they changed it to 7 or 10, and then they changed it to opening day at sunrise.
Sure.
I've been hunting ducks for 50 some years.
Mm-hmm.
So I know the rules.
Well, I know, but the rules are constantly changing. It's kind of just
But you don't know the rules.
It's what it says on his phone. So
Minnesota waterfowl regulation.
I'm gonna find it here before you guys leave.
DNR
I got your
state,
license
Minnesota.
number.
Okay, I'm
glad.
I'm glad.
I'm gonna turn you into the
Okay.
warden.
Go ahead. We are following the...
At first, the voice was muffled, angry but too far away to make out. That changed quickly when the roar of an ATV echoed through the woods. A man pulled up near their position, visibly upset. He accused the hunters of violating state hunting laws, insisting they were beyond legal shooting hours and claiming they were trespassing.
This is where things in the hunt went very south very fast. Essentially what happened is off in the distance we heard some old man just yelling, and we didn't know what it was. We couldn't hear what he's saying. He's too far away. We just hear he's yelling and he's very mad. And I'm like, uh-oh, what's he mad about? So then we hear his side-by-side tear up the road and he's just, he's flooring it. And then he comes back and then he parks on our land. So he essentially trespassed onto our land. And we can just hear him yelling and screaming up there. And he was very mad. And then we go up there and he's just yelling at us saying that we're screwed, we're effed, our guns are getting taken away and everything. And then I kind of just turned off the camera. I didn't really record anything because I thought for sure we were screwed and going to jail. But then after I realized we're 100% legal, I'm like, what is this guy doing? So I start filming, and this is after he cooled down just a little bit, so he wasn't as mad, but he was still pretty upset. So
The man was adamant. Hunting ended at 4 p.m., and their firearms could be confiscated. Caught off guard, the hunters paused filming, unsure if they were genuinely in trouble. But after checking the state's DNR website, they realized they were in full compliance. The season permitted hunting until sunset, and they had explicit permission from the landowner to be there. With that confirmation, they resumed recording, documenting what they now saw as a wrongful confrontation.
So we just...
Buddy's an old timer and thought it ended at 4 o'clock, even though it's sun. Buddy's yelling like, what, 10 minutes? Just full yelling from not even his
He was
property.
pissed. He was yelling.
And then, second off, Buddy claims it's his property, even though the farmer's bean field is right here.
That we got permission from. Actually, you got... But that we have permission for to be on. Buddy... Oh, you guys are effed. You're screwed. So then he yells at us for maybe 10 minutes about how, oh, it shuts up at 4 o'clock. We pull up the DNR website. Sure enough, during the entire season, it says sunset, the shooting time's over.
And then Buddy goes ripping on his 1980 booklet, trying to find a rule about sunrise at 4 o'clock.
He did anything he could to find something illegal from an outdated book, and he read for literally half an hour.
After about 10 minutes, he had to sit down.
Yeah, because he could not find it. It's 7:45 right now. We came up here at what, 7:10?
Yeah.
So he was for half an hour just reading through the book, and we're sitting here like reading our DNR webpage, and it says that at sunset you can stop shooting, and that's been a rule for however many years. I know it used to be a rule way back in the day in Minnesota that if you had to be done shooting at 4 o'clock in like the first couple weeks of the season, but ever since early teal and whatnot came through, it's just kind of been whatever. So
The man, however, wasn't convinced. He referenced rules that had long since changed, pulling out an outdated regulation booklet in an attempt to back his claims. Despite being shown the current DNR guidelines directly from an official source, he insisted his memory of decades-old hunting laws was correct. The situation dragged on for nearly half an hour. The hunters remained calm, offered to show their licenses and digital rulebooks, and even encouraged him to double-check with the local game warden. None of it mattered. Eventually, the man left, still convinced the young hunters had broken the law. While the conflict never turned physical, it reflects a broader tension seen across public and semi-public land hunting. Disagreements like this, fueled by outdated information, generational divides, or territorial attitudes, can quickly escalate. Legal hunters, especially younger ones, often find themselves in the crosshairs of those who think they know better, but haven't kept up with evolving regulations. What makes this story so striking isn't just the confrontation, it's the underlying question. In a world where rules change, who holds the real authority? Is it the handbook or the person who yells the loudest?
The Outdoor Gear Review, run by a man named Luke, is recognized for its straightforward, practical take on outdoor adventures. Luke isn't drawn to theatrics or chasing paranormal tales. In fact, he often says he's never encountered anything that would convince him creatures like Bigfoot are real. But in this video, Even Luke comes across something he can't completely explain. This episode was made at the request of his audience, asking him to revisit a wooded mountain spot he calls the Green Forest. For the past 2 years, he's...
My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. I hope you all are doing well. This is a viewer-requested episode that I'm calling The Search for Bigfoot. For some, this is going to excite them. For others, they may roll their eyes, and that's okay. Allow me to explain what's taken place and why I'm doing this episode, why it's been requested. So, over the last year or so, I've been coming up here to what I call the Green Forest. And over the last 2 years, I've had numerous odd experiences. The first odd experience began someplace on top of this mountain. I was hiking up, and I came across what looked like a trail. And along this trail, all of the trees have been broken and basically like stacked, like leaned in a certain way. It was rather odd. A few months later, I was hiking to this location. I was coming through the woods and I startled something big. As soon as whatever it was heard me, it burst through the forest. You can hear it breaking limbs and snapping trees as it ran. Whatever it was huge.
For the past 2 years, he's camped there a number of times. Though he rarely brought it up, he had experienced several odd moments minor enough to ignore then, but strange enough to stay on his mind later. On one outing, Luke stumbled on a path where trees had been snapped and placed in the same direction. It didn't look like storm damage, it seemed deliberate.
Then, last week, I came out here for a camping trip. I was inside of the tent, it was raining outside, it was beginning to storm. Basically, I was turning in for the night, and I heard a grunt, and it sounded like this. Woo! One time only, that's it. What was that sound? I have no idea. But many of you all thought it was Bigfoot. I have publicly stated previously that I'm not sure if I really believe in Bigfoot. I'm more of a skeptic. I am open-minded to it. It's always possible, but with my experiences out in the woods, out in remote areas, I've never had any sort of experience that I could contribute to being Bigfoot. If you happen to believe in Bigfoot, that's fine. I respect that. But for myself, I haven't seen what I needed to see to believe it. At the same time, I have not seen evidence that I believe really shows that Bigfoot exists. Over the years, I've been sent videos and pictures from viewers. 95% of the time, the footage you can't even make out. It's so blurry, so dark, I'm not even sure what I'm looking at. The other 5%, it's obviously fake.
On another trip, while hiking off the trail, something large barreled through the brush, breaking branches as it ran. Whatever it was, it moved too quickly and powerfully to be a deer. His latest visit added another mystery.
Prize it. Basically, I'm looking for a sign of something, anything. There is snow on the ground. That's a good thing. If anything's been walking through here, I'll see the steps. That's an interesting spot there with the moss. Something has scraped that off. Something rather large, could have been a black bear. Speaking of the animals that are in this forest, we have black bear, we have some deer, bobcats, the occasional mountain lion, coyotes. That's about it, really. We have some smaller game, of course, but as far as the big ones, that's it.
While resting in his tent during a rainstorm, Luke heard a single deep grunt right outside. It wasn't followed by movement or another noise just once, then silence. He couldn't identify it, but the moment stuck with him. Now he returns with purpose. He's not out hunting for legends, but responding to his viewers and his own curiosity. The hike begins normally calm, thoughtful, and focused on the environment. The air is just above freezing, and though the ground outside the woods is icy, inside it's damp and quiet. As he ventures farther, Luke spots more signs, patches of moss, stripped off trunks, high claw marks that could be from animals, but don't all match the usual patterns. He points out that the forest is thick enough that something animal or not could stay hidden just a few feet away. He encounters a large rock formation and notes how isolated and unusual the site feels.
I've come across a massive rock. It's huge. Look at the size of that. I will tell you all this, folks. Before I came out here today, I did a search. about this area and Bigfoot. And I'm shocked to say this, but I found a ton of reports. This area apparently is a hot spot for Bigfoot activity. Every time that I come out for a trip, I will share with you all a story that I found online from this area. So if you find this sort of content interesting, hit the like button. By the way, everyone, try to keep it civil in the comment section. There's going to be those who think they've seen evidence of Bigfoot, those who don't believe. It doesn't matter, everybody. People could see things differently than you, and that's okay.
Before heading out, he had looked into Bigfoot reports from the area and was surprised to find many tied to this exact location. That knowledge made every broken limb and strange mark seem more significant. Even as a skeptic, Luke admits the green forest unsettles him. The snapped branches, the noises at night, none of them feel ordinary. And while he grounds himself in reason, the experiences linger. He closes the episode without declaring any discovery. There's no big reveal, no shadow figure, no blurry image in the distance. Only the uneasy sense that something in that forest isn't right. And for someone as rational as Luke calling it the strangest place he's camped carries weight. This story stands out not for evidence, but for how it pushed a rational outdoorsman to admit that not everything has an explanation. It shows how thin the line can be between the ordinary and the unknown, and how quickly familiar ground can feel foreign. Have you ever been somewhere that just didn't feel right? Even if you couldn't explain why, share your thoughts below. And be sure to like and subscribe for more genuine outdoor experiences. This next unsettling entry comes from Squatch TV, a channel recognized for venturing into creepy and often deserted locations in the wild. In this episode, two explorers head to an abandoned train bridge deep in the forest, a spot that's off limits and rarely traveled. At first, it seems like just another late-night outing. The area is technically restricted, so it's usually empty, aside from the rare snowmobile. But soon things start to feel off. As they move along the bridge and nearby paths, they pick up strange sounds, animal-like, yet warped and unfamiliar. The type that makes your skin prickle.
It's hard to tell with the wind, but it almost sounded like something definitely made some kind of noises over there. So we're gonna check it out. Occasionally snowmobilers come through here, but other than that, it's pretty remote. This is an abandoned train bridge. Okay. I almost kind of don't want to go back over there. Yeah, my brother said he heard some weird things, but that's pretty weird. I've never heard a grizzly bear sound like that before. You got like chills going down your spine? Yup. I hope the camera got that. Technically, this train bridge is trespassing, so no one comes by here anymore. But we come here late at night to search for animals, stuff like that. But there's no people back here. You take that one path up here. Yeah. Is that right there?
Yeah. Take to the babies. Oh, baby.
Okay. I don't even want to go. I don't even want to. What the hell was that? Dude, f this. Should we?
You got,
do it for the video?
You got your knife?
Oh, what the fuck is that? That's some deer tracks. Oh, did you ever hear like a rabbit get killed? They
Yeah. That was too loud though.
Far to turn back?
Yeah.
We can turn back really?
With no one else around, the noises feel closer and closer. One explorer wants to turn back, but the other pushes forward, determined to film everything no matter what. Then a sudden blast of noise from the darkness changes everything. Whatever's out there, it isn't far. Armed with only a knife, the creator admits he's uneasy. The wind grows stronger, signaling a storm above.
Yeah.
So we've been hearing some really fucking spooky shit, dude. I'm only giving it like maybe 5 more minutes. So we're walking.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of the woods, about half an hour from my house. I only got a knife, but that's not gonna stop the fucking grizzly bear or whatever this is. It's coming from up there. I don't even know if I want to. We'll see what it is, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, this is like something fucking unknown.
Let's be safe how long we're out here, because I think there's a storm coming. It's getting real windy.
But it's the sense of unseen eyes on them that rattles them most. They push farther into the woods now, more than 30 minutes from home, still chasing answers, though every step feels riskier. Without warning, a piercing sound shatters the silence, followed by a glimpse of something they can't place. Panic hits. They run crashing through brush and icy trails to escape whatever was pursuing them. The camera cuts.
Go. That's pretty loud. That's close.
Okay. So
I know. Okay. Oh, go. It's coming. Oh, crap. Wait. Don't. Wait. Go. Wait. Holy, I think I saw it. Go. 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 Oh, crap. Bro, wait, where's
Okay, we're far enough away. Let's just fucking go, dude. Fuck that.
Soon after ending with raw fear captured on tape. No clear figure was spotted, but the tension of the moment says plenty. Was it a wild animal? Something guarding its ground? Or something else entirely? The absence of visuals only makes the audio and atmosphere more disturbing. So what do you think was hiding beyond the bridge? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay alert. Because out there past the trail, some things don't want to stay unseen. That's it for tonight. Which moment creeped you out the most? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story? Share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.